taken by Bryant. Cuts to the outside and is brought down at the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Again at 21. And let's take a look at our starting lineup presented by CGI Security, protecting what's important. Andre Ellington, 228 yards. Hopkins, Brown, Peak, and Brendan Ford are your receivers and backs. And of course, up front, it's a young offensive line that came through. Dalton Freeman is the only really guy who's in there for 5. He's a fifth-year senior. And the rest performed very well. 1st and 10. Boyd passes to the flats. It is complete. And straight upfield is going to be Sharon Peak. And a 12-yard gain tackled by Pinkston.
Steve, we talked to Taj Boyd, talked to Dabo Sweeney about Taj Boyd yesterday, and talked about what he did in the offseason, get prepared, drop 15 pounds, much more knowledgeable in Chad Morris's offense. They expect a monster year out of him.
The fake to Ellington, the pass to the flats other side. And this is going to be Adam Humphries. And Chris Pauling brings him down. So a sophomore brought down by freshman. Let's take a look at this young Ball State defensive line. The only returning player there is Nathan Ollie, number 92, a defensive tackle. Travis Freeman, their leading tackler and playmaker in the secondary. Pass in the air, has a man downfield, and that is Hopkins. And Hopkins defended nicely there by Jason Pinkston, the senior from Cleveland, Ohio.
Try the post route here. Jeffrey Garrett gets turned around on the post move, but a good job by Hopkins to go up, but he went and played it at the highest point. Outstanding play by the junior from Indianapolis, Jeffrey Garrett, to go up the top of that jump and knock it away.
3rd and 2. Look at that first down. Here's Ellington. After the hit, he'll get it. Andre Ellington had that look in his eyes, Dave, a week ago. Brought down by Travis Freeman after a 5-yard gain. The coaches knew they had to call his number.
Ellington made some runs, and we talked about it from the opening. Some unbelievable runs where he was contacted, fought through contact, very much like that one. And then he also made some runs that defied logic, putting the football, putting his hand on the ground, staying alive. He had a monster day, 228 yards. He's had a great career, but it's been an injury-plagued career. They want to keep him on the field.
We have an injury on the field, and this is for Ball State. Looks like it's going to be Jeffrey Garrett, junior out of Indianapolis, just cited a moment ago on that play on Nuke Hopkins. So there'll be a delay here. As Pete Lembo has a staff that's pretty good in its ones, but not very deep as far as its twos coming up. So
Garrett came on a corner blitz from the short side. They actually had the perfect play on, and that's who Ellington had to make miss. He's going to come off the right side. Watch him put his foot in the ground right here, and then Ellington kind of sidesteps him. Like he torqued the lower leg area there a little bit as Ellington sidestepped him and got up the field. First they see him reach and grab the right leg. Yeah, hope he's okay.
Back of that. Garrett will walk off the field under his own power. Let's take a look, David, on Ford keys to the game and what's important for these two teams. First of all, Ball State.
Well, Ball State, they've got, and I say play big, obviously they need their perimeter players to play big, but their offensive line is gigantic. Average 6'5", 307 pounds across the front wall. They'll need them to play big. And of course, for Clemson, they want to get a first down, move the chains. They've already accomplished that. Get a couple of first downs. They feel like if they get a little flow going, they're very difficult to stop.
You know, Dabo Sweeney came up with a statistic yesterday. He said, when we get that first down, we score 62% of the time. Out of the Wildcat now, and it's a snap picked up by Ellington, and he's still going to get positive yards. Wow, down to the 42-yard line. Kenneth Lee comes up to the stop for Ball State.
Well, it's pretty good recognition by Ball State because they crowd the line of scrimmage with 9 players, but Ellington doing a little bit of what we saw him do last week, make some people miss after he bobbled the snap there.
Boyd is now in the shotgun. Pass out to the flats complete. This is Pete. And this is Pete's second reception of the day. 9-yard gain. Swaby gets the stop. There's Pete Lembo. 2 years ago, finished out a 5-year career at Elon University. Of course, we saw Elon last week. Here's Boyd back to throw. Pass is complete. It's Brandon Ford, his tight end. Ford breaks some tackles. Ford's got something to prove today here, Dave. He dropped 3 balls in the win over Auburn last week.
Yeah, it was not lost on his head football coach. We talked to Dabo yesterday, and that was one of the first things he pointed out, that they dropped 5 passes, and then Brandon Ford had dropped 3 of them. So he's on. This is an offense that features that guy. Remember Dwayne Allen a year ago, Michael Palmer a couple years before that. They like to feature the tight end.
Ellington with a carry. Right off the right side. Travis Freeman first to catch, and Kenneth Lee came in to help out. Gain on the play of about 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Clemson Tigers, who were driving. This drive started at their own 27-yard line, their first possession of the day.
Well, if you think pace is a problem for Ball State, it's not, because their offense plays very similar to the same speed. If this play clock goes down there at 25 seconds, that's when the coaches get a little upset. And here's one where Taj Boyd's holding things up, didn't like the look, looking to the sideline for a little adjustment.
Chad Morris very impatient as offensive coordinator. Unless he's checking off a play, he wants to go in 5 or 10 seconds.
Getting a lot of mileage out of the screens to the outside. They haven't been jailbreak screens where you get the O-line involved. They've just been wide receiver screens, and Clemson doing a good job. The guy not catching the football is doing an excellent job of blocking, and they're just moving the football down the field with outside receiver screens.
Humphrey's second catch of the day. Dehaney on the tackle was the nickelback. Here comes Ellington. Pushes the pile toward the 5-yard line. Brandon Newman first to hit him, but it's good for another first down. That's the 5th first down of this drive. It started at the 27.
And doing a really good job of staying on schedule. And by that, I mean they're not 2nd or 3rd and 10. They're doing a good job of keeping it in manageable situations where the whole playbook's available for Chad Morris.
11th play of this drive. Ellington again tries to turn the corner, but Ball State, pretty good job making sure that doesn't happen. Chris Smalling on the tackle.
That was the zone read play, and that time Taj Boyd, when he looked to the sideline, pointed at himself almost to say, my bad, I should have kept that one. Taj Boyd, they're expecting him to run a little bit more. Had just under 500 yards rushing last year. They'd like him up over 700 yards running with the football this year.
Ellington, straight ahead, touchdown, Clemson. Methodical touchdown run by Andre Ellington. 4-yard touchdown run, and his 26th career touchdown.
Well, Big Dalton Freeman, number 55, the center, does a great job of pinning that defensive line to the left, and Andre Ellington, just reading his 5th-year senior center's block, just cuts in behind Freeman and shoves it in the end zone.
And Zaro for the point after. He had 4 field goals a week ago. This one's no good on the point after. And that stops a streak for the Clemson Tigers. But Andre Ellington keeps his streak alive. The first touchdown of the day. And Clemson gets on the board. 6-0.
SEC Football is being brought to you by AT&T, by Geico, by your local Toyota dealers, by Ruby Tuesday, and by PNC Bank.
And there's some of the hardware that's associated with the championship season for the Clemson Tigers. They get ready to kick it off after their first touchdown of the day. 12 plays, 72 yards. And they did it in 3:59, topped by Ellington's 4-yard run. However, they did miss the point after. Spencer Benton's kick. Jamil Smith will let it go out of the end zone. Clemson will try that a couple times. They're going to try to judge and see what their coverage looks like. And then they'll start putting some air underneath those kicks and get them inside the 10. Take a look at the CPI starting lineup, protecting what's important. Juwan Edwards, over 200 yards last week. Willie Snead, Jamil Smith, only 135 pounds up front. The most veteran unit for Ball State. All of these returning starters on the offensive line. 1st and 10 now for Ball State. Got an outstanding quarterback. His name is Keith Wenning, junior out of Coldwater, Indiana. Hand off Williams. And Williams pulled down quickly, finishing the tackle off of Stephon Anthony.
You know, Steve, when you talk about Keith Wenning, this is a kid that they're really excited about. He made some strides a year ago as a sophomore, now a junior. They feel like he settles into their system. Remember, Pete Limbo and his team is now there, or his coaching staff there for the second year. They feel like Wenning is ready to take that next step. He won't beat you running, but he'll get first downs when you run. But he's an excellent passer from an accuracy standpoint.
It may take some more time than Clemson does to get plays away. Wenning to throw, batted down immediately. And that was Deshaun Williams and Josh Watson.
Well, this is going to be the big challenge today for this huge offensive line, is to stop the interior push. And then Josh Watson gets in, the big one. Number 91 gets it right paw up and swats it away. But you got to stop the interior push if you're this big offensive line for Ball State.
3rd down and 6 now for the Cardinals, who trail here 6-0. Here's Wenning. And there's a snap and a flag. Clemson got over. The question is, were they drawn? David Epperly is our referee today. Same crew at North Carolina for the North Carolina Elon game. There's Dabo Sweeney, his 4th full season.
He's looking very interesting. Clemson was jumping into the neutral zone, getting set to blitz.
So, illegal procedure. Let's take a look at Clemson defensively. We see some depth along that offensive line. Malachi Goodman, Grady Jarrett, Deshaun Williams. We also see Josh Watson, Corey Crawford at the other end. Christian, Anthony, and Willard are the linebackers. And a key play coming up, 3rd down and about 11. Wenning to throw, has a little time. It is complete. Willie Snead on the completion, but not enough on the 1st down. Tackle made on the play, Rashad Breeland. Let's take a look at that Clemson secondary. Breeland back there with Xavier Brewer, Jonathan Meeks, and Darius Robinson. They have 2 starters back from last year's championship team for the Clemson Tigers.
Now, Ball State's going to have to punt this football as Duke Hopkins drifts deep for Clemson, but that was a pretty good series there as far as protection goes, especially on 3rd down, provided Wenning enough time to make the throw. Good tackle on the outside by Breeland to prevent the 1st down.
This is Scott Cavanda, 5th-year senior and a very good punter, averaged 43 in his punts a week ago against Eastern Michigan. There under this one, and this is DeAndre Hopkins, nicknamed Nuke. And he brings it down to the 25-yard line. 40-yard kick and no return. And Clemson will get the football back. Touching the rock, and Frank Howard erected there when he almost threw it out. That's part of tradition here at Clemson.
Update, Penn State on its opening drive at Virginia. Matt McGloin, the 8-yard TD pass to the end zone to Kyle Carter. Extra point good, 7-0 Penn State at UVA. Back to Steve.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's 6-0 here. Clemson leading, and they've got the ball for the 2nd time this afternoon. 1st and 10 from their own 26. Todd Boyd under center. And there's the handoff straight ahead, and it's the first drive, an interesting one that featured the passing of Todd Boyd and the running of Andre Ellington.
Well, it featured the outside screen pass. Yeah, a lot of throws to the flat. Brandon Ford makes a catch there, and of course Ellington finishes off right ahead, right behind Freeman. But they have to tackle. Ball State has to tackle when they get an opportunity to put a Clemson player on the ground.
Pass is complete. Out there on the wing, and it's going to be to Sharon Pete. That's his 3rd reception of the day of 11 yards.
Outstanding block here, number 80, Brandon Ford, right there, huge block. When you get these screens on the outside, the receivers have to block for one another, and an outstanding job by Ford coming from the inside out to make a block.
Here's the orbit sweep. And a handoff off to Adam Humphries. He gets some yardage, about 5 yards out to the 45. Let's head to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Last week against Auburn, Steve, Todd Boyd's helmet came off 4 times. He had to come out of the game each time. He's got a new helmet this week. They hope it'll stay on. He's also got a visor on there. Says it doesn't help him stay on, but he just likes it.
That's the helmet off situations we found last week. 17 in the ACC. This pass complete DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke gets the catch. Jones on the tackle, but it's 31 yards downfield on the connection from Taj Boyd.
And you talk about growing up as a quarterback. How about right here with Taj Boyd stopping Nuke Hopkins with the throw? He didn't throw it up the field with a safety. He had to play in the middle of the field. He stopped his big-time receiver on that post route with the throw to get the big pickup.
And how about Freeman telling us yesterday, so I don't have to call half the signals I used to last year because he knows them all. Boyd maturing as a quarterback. Here comes the reverse. And this is Bryant. He's headed for the end zone, and it's driven out of bounds. Falls out of bounds there. Step out. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 13-yard line.
Well, again, you got to block for one another on the perimeter. Let's watch Jerron Brown, 18 outstanding blocks, and the big fella Shaq Anthony getting his first start. Redshirt freshman out in front of Bryant, trying to get him some room.
1st and 10. And off Ellington back into the ball game, and that's probably the least amount of yardage he's had in 2 weeks. And the stop, Brandon Newman, the 5th-year senior out of Louisville, Kentucky, makes the stop for Ball State. No gain.
And Ball State has to put some pressure on the play calling here. If they're allowing the easy chunks of yardage on 1st and 2nd down, they're making it easy on Chad Morris. Here they did a good job of backing them up now, 2nd and long.
Back in motion, handoff Ellington. This time there's more yardage. Inside the 5, and another first down. Looks like on the 2-yard line. Tackle made by Jason Pinkston that saved a touchdown, an 11-yard gain by Ellington.
I said last week when they watched Andre Ellington warm up, he had a look in his eyes they'd never seen before. I would assume it's something like what he looks like today, because this is the first time Andre Ellington told a lot of his teammates, and we talked to a number of them yesterday, that this is the best he's ever felt going into a season. He certainly looks it so far today.
David Beasley goes off to the sideline. You have talked to Dabo Sweeney and asked him what was the most surprising aspect of his game last week, of the Auburn game last week, and he said, I was so surprised that our offensive line dominated as they did, as young as they are.
Well, it's a phenomenal setting as far as the offensive. I've never seen anything like it. When you start talking about a team that had an ACC championship a year ago, they had 3 guys lead this offensive line, and the guys backing them up hadn't played at all. So Beasley, one of those guys, just came off, but Shatley played defensive line. We just mentioned Shaq Anthony, his first career start of his career.
Here's Ellington, headed for the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson. 2 yards in out of the jumbo formation with 3 tight ends. And the Sea of Orange approved.
Well, so far it's been about the big guys up front. We talked about Ball State's big offensive line, but it's been the young, inexperienced offensive line, except for this guy. He's the most experienced. That's Freeman. He gets the first level block, then gets the second level, and gets enough of a block to help Ellington get in the end zone.
Catanzaro missed the first time around. No chance this time as Chris Catanzaro hits the point after. And the Clemson Tigers are up here by a 13-0 score. Back to Clemson after this word from your local ACC station.
University. So I stopped right off the exit, and I asked the lady, how far is Clemson from here? And she was like, well, it's only a couple of miles down the road. All you got to do is follow the paw print. And so I'm excited. You know, I'm like a kid in a candy store because I always wanted to see Death Valley. We walk in.
And welcome back inside the ACC Network studios. Taj Boyd and his teammates have the lead on the strength of a couple of Andre Ellington rushing touchdowns. And we have regained the signal, so let's send it back to Steve Martin in Clemson, South Carolina.
Scott Miranda there to kick. DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke's back at his 40-yard line. Good kick by Miranda. Fair catch called for. And that backed him up. What a nice kick. 57 yards, no return, and a hang running time of 4.36 seconds. We talked about Taj Boyd's helmet. He's got a new one on today, but he also has that helmet cam. Explain what that's all about.
Well, what they're trying to do is he wants, Chad Morris wants Taj Boyd to watch this film. He says you can only watch about 15 minutes of it because it's like being on a thrill ride. You'll get sick. But it gives you an idea of what you're looking at. Where are your eyes? He wants his eyes immediately as soon as the play's done to get immediately rotated over to find Chad Morris on the sideline. He can find out where Taj is looking, and he's also sound attached that he can understand. He can hear what he's calling.
Here's the keeper by Taj Boyd. I'm not sure this was intended or not. He gets hit at the 30-yard line, a gain of about 4 on the play. Martin in on the stop. We apologize. We're having some transmission difficulties out of Death Valley here this afternoon. Looks like we're clearing them up as we speak. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Clemson up here 13-0. 3rd time with the ball. This is McDowell. Roderick McDowell who scored the only touchdown. On the ground. Michael Ayers on the tackle.
Talking to this Clemson coaching staff, they felt like, Taj Boyd, the deal is ask him to carry the ball 25, 30 times a game every week. It's not realistic. They need another player to step up and carry the football and be explosive in the backfield.
Wellington had 23 carries a week ago. Here's DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke, the crowd hollers out his nickname. He gets to the 40. It's a gain of about 7, and it's good for a 1st down. Tony Martin on the tackle.
Good quick decision right here by Taj Boyd. Knows he wants to move the chains, not looking at anything, but a controlled throw here gets Nuke Hopkins the football quickly.
Quick cadence here, and a nice catch. Right there made by Jerron Brown. Graduate student between 11 and 12 out of Cheraw, South Carolina. Nice play.
I graduated in December with his degree in management. He managed to squeeze that one, didn't he?
Boy, back to throw. That's 2 downfield and almost had one. That was intended by Davis Bryant, and it goes incomplete. Brings up 2nd down.
And this offense puts so much pressure on the defense because you've got to defend the run, so you got to keep your eyes peeking in the backfield if you're one of the front 7, and then all of a sudden here comes this 4-receiver pack up the field. You see them stretch it out, and they're vertically up the field on it.
Here's 2nd incompletion. Boyd. Avoids trouble. Pass toward the sidelines. Did he get it? Looks like he did. Kingston on the tackle. And that is Peak with his 4th reception of the day. We've got a flag down, however, at the 50-yard line, back at the line of scrimmage. David Epperly signaling to the Ball State side.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that takes the completion off the board.
Now, let's look at Taj Boyd. We talked about him being 15, 20 pounds lighter, and he feels like he's much more fleet of foot. He has the ability to make people miss. He's in better condition, much leaner player this year. He felt like he got, in his words, felt like he got a little fat and out of shape late in the season, and it cost him in some situations where he needed to extend the play. Right there, you saw it.
10 of 12, 120 yards. Handoff goes to Ellington, not much there. No gain whatsoever. And Michael Ayers in on the tackle now for Ball State. So Clemson set in backward motion by a problem that they are very concerned about, and that is penalties before the snap.
Yeah, the mental mistakes, lining up properly, not being in motion. They had 6 of them against Auburn in the 1st half a week ago. Dabo pointed to that as something he wanted to clean up.
Boy. Looking left, has a man out there. That's Humphreys. But threw it between him and the nickelback, Eric Patterson.
Humphreys got collision down the field, and I don't think he necessarily was in stride and had his eyes set before the ball got by him. Taj Boyd trying to hit it in that little hole area, and he just couldn't get it to him between the corner and the safety.
Our principal financial group edge of the game, total yards. Clemson, yeah, I think that's an edge, 171 to 16, and 2 touchdowns for Andre Ellington. 4th down and the first punt of the day for Spencer Benton. Smith with the return, possible. He wants everybody to get away from it. And it takes a very nice Clemson roll down to the 8-yard line. Give Benton a 47-yard punt on that one with no return.
Yeah, you'd like Jamil Smith to catch that football, but that was in a lot of traffic. He made the right decision to get away with it, just caught a bad bounce for Ball State.
Let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield. So far, tackles for loss this season. Last week, Jordan Warner with 5 for Florida State. Brandon Jenkins, who is teammate out for the season. Malachi Goodman against Auburn, 2.5. Rod Sweeting had 2.5 against Virginia Tech for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This was quite a game Monday night in Blacksburg. Winning back to throw. Pass complete to Sneed. Covering on the play is Rashard Breeland.
Well, this is an excellent job of Wenning stepping up in the pocket, starting to get a feel for the game. Good job up front to stop the interior push, run Malachi Goodman behind the quarterback, and Wenning with a perfect on-target throw.
Most successful play of the day. Wenning, nice fake, and then goes ahead and gets 3 yards. So Ball State trying to shake up the playbook. They haven't had much success against Clemson in the first 2 drives.
You know, watching Wenning on film, Steve, really liked his accuracy, how well he threw it. He was a 69% passer as a senior at Coldwater High School in Ohio, and he was 64% passer a year ago as a sophomore. So he's a kid that's used to being on target. Got to settle into what this pass rush is going to be from Clemson.
Horatio Banks is in, providing protection, and we've got a flag thrown, and there was contact on Willie Sneed. It looks like it's going to be Rashard Breeland with a little bit of contact.
Pass interference. Defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I like that Wenning recognizes he's got one-on-one coverage on the outside, and see Sneed blows by, and then the reach back in by Breeland because the ball's underthrown. That ball looked like it might have slipped out of Wenning's hand, but it turned out Sneed was the benefactor because Breeland didn't know where the football was.
14-yard completion, and now this 15-yard penalty. 2 most successful plays for Ball State this afternoon. First and 10 at their own 40. They move the football. Wenning to throw. Pass complete. That's Connor Ryan, and he goes nowhere after the catch. 81. Darius Robinson made the nice stop.
Again, good quick recognition by Wenning. He sees a soft corner, meaning the corner's backed off, shoots it out there, and that's a good first down pickup for this Ball State offense.
And up. This is Banks. Banks in open territory, gets behind the back, and he could go all the way for Ball State. Touchdown, the Cardinals.
Horatio Banks. Touchdown, Ball State.
Talked about how this big offensive line is going to have to be the key for Ball State in their running game. They need to lean on Clemson up front, and a good job of creating a nice crease in the middle, and then an excellent run by Banks as he makes the safety Brewer miss, turns on the Jets and puts it in the end zone. So nice drive that time by Ball State. Remember, this drive started all the way back deep in their own territory.
Their own 8-yard line after the good punt. Stevens shot, getting ready for the point after. Kick is up, and it is good. And Ball State said, all right, we got our sea legs, and we're underway. And they get on the board. A 54-yard run. On the run by Horatio Banks. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, let's look at the pursuit angles. Let's go ahead and roll it, guys, and look at the pursuit angles that Clemson takes here. You see they got 8 in the box, and just a really good job of blocking up front. And then it's up to Brewer, number 9, does not make the tackle on Banks as he breaks clean. So when you get 9 around or 8 around the box, that's fine. You talk about crowd the box with 8, and they're not able to run it with 8 men in the box. Well, if you block it like that, and you got a back that hits it clean, then the safety's the guy that's got to make the tackle because there's nobody else there. Excellent job by Pete Limbo's group to kind of sort some things out on the sideline. Didn't have the first couple series weren't very good for Ball State, but an excellent job up front of the offensive line.
Well, you know, it was bow time early this morning as Clemson fans got ready for the season home opener. Tiger fans excited about competing for a second straight ACC title, and they always know how to get the day started. Be a Super Tailgate hero with a Bojangles 12-piece Super Tailgate special. Remember, it's always bow time when you're tailgating here in the South. board. Nice score there by Horatio Banks. He's a redshirt freshman from Chicago, Illinois. Took 4 plays. One was a 15-yard interference penalty. The other a 14-yard completion. And then the 54-yarder by Banks puts him into the end zone.
That's a huge confidence builder for the Cardinals. Go 92 yards in this type of environment. Excellent job by the boys from Ball State.
Here's Martavis Bryant. Turns the corner, turns it yet again, and now only the kicker is back, but he'll drive him out of bounds at the 32-yard line, a 29-yard gain. You don't have to worry about missing a game this year. Each week, Avalon brings you highlights from every ACC football game. Visit the ACC Digital Network on the ACC.com or the ACC mobile apps for game highlights, analysis, and more video. 1st and 10 now, Clemson.
A nice balance you see there with Chad Morris's offense. 14 rush, 13 pass.
There's the 15th rush. He goes to Ellington for a 2-yard gain. To the sidelines we go, and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, the PA announcer here is a local TV weatherman, and he just announced to the crowd that we're under a thunderstorm watch that should be only an hour and a half, 2 hours away. We'll keep you advised, but right now, blue skies, but they're thinking weather's on the way.
It certainly looks it off to the northwest. Here comes the pass to Hopkins, and Newt back shoulder grab gets 9 and a first down for Clemson.
Well, you get a zone blitz from Ball State that time. Nuke Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins. For Martin.
Humphreys eludes one tackler, and that probably will do it for the quarter. Nick Miles leads Brian Jones after about a 4-yard gain. The clock will wind down as we close out the first quarter. Jones quieted this big crowd with a 54-yard touchdown run to get Ball State on the board. And we are at the end of the first quarter of play. 3rd down coming up for the... Welcome back to the ACC Network. Steve Martin here along with Dave Archer and Mike Hogwood. We're at Death Valley where 12th-ranked Clemson leads Ball State out of the Mid-American Conference 13-7. 3rd down and 3 for Clemson. And Ball State territory at the 49.5. The pass complete in the backfield. This is DJ Howard, and Howard on his way down the sidelines on a saving poke by Jason Pinkston. The only thing between him and a score. They'll drive him out at the 15-yard line.
Well, you get Howard out in the flat. It's a one-on-one situation. Missed tackle there, and just great speed to run by 2 more Ball State defenders. Well, I didn't realize he was that fast. That's pretty fast.
33-yard gain. Boyd sets it off. This is going to be Howard again. DJ Howard straight ahead. Our first quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. This year, the North Carolina Education Lottery provides more than $73 million to students to help pay for college. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org. I'd say Pete Lembo is concerned about getting to 97 plays this week.
Well, I think it's very difficult to get the play if you don't have the football. No question for Limbo, as we've got a Ball State player down on the field. Looks like it might be Eric Patterson, number 36, one of the defensive backs.
Well, he lost Jeffrey Garrett for a little while. He went out earlier, so his replacement is gone out of that secondary. And Lembo is going to have to dig deep. Looks like he might go with Andre Dawson. We've seen Dawson, number 7, come in. He may not alternate him. It might be important to note that both Garrett and Patterson have left the field of their own power, so they'll go to the sidelines and we'll see if Patterson's able to come back. Taj Boyd processes all of that information. And let's go to the sidelines on the 2nd and 9 to Mike Hogwood.
Clemson injury report. David Beasley, the guard, is out at least for the rest of this half. They're going to reevaluate him at halftime, Steve.
Kalen Davis is going to be in his spot at that left guard position. 2nd down and 8. Ellington joins Boyd, but this is Boyd. Taj Boyd and Travis Freeman will have none of it. Freeman on the tackle after about a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up third down.
Good play by Freeman there. We talked to Dalton Freeman, the center, the graybeard, if you will, up front for Clemson. He said that this Ball State defensive line really does a good job of stemming and moving around. Very difficult to find them.
And they're looking at gaps to move through. Boyd looking for the end zone. Touchdown. That's Newt. DeAndre Hopkins with the touchdown. He pulled down 13 grabs a week ago. This one from 13 yards out for a score. Clemson's third of the afternoon.
This is one where Taj Boyd says, my guy's better than your guy is, and he just threw it up to DeAndre Hopkins. This is pretty good coverage by Jason Pinkston. He's there, but Hopkins just goes up and gets the football. At 6'2", 210 pounds. Just went up and put the ball away.
Catanzaro gets the point after. And there's a flag thrown down on the play. So let's take care of the flag here first. DeAndre Hopkins got 13 balls a week ago and a decisive touchdown despite the fact his arm was held.
Personal foul on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed.
All right. Assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown counts. Watch Taj Boyd connect with DeAndre Hopkins. Duke gets it. Timeout on the field. Clemson now up 20-7.
ACC football is brought to you by Geico, by Ruby Tuesday, by your local Toyota dealers, and by CPI Security Systems.
Well, the Clemson Tigers have decided to take points off the board. We thought their decision on that personal foul, and they're going to go for two. So take the point after off. They'll make a switch in the backfield. Handoff Ellington to the end zone for two, and he got it. The gamble works. Dabo Swinney thought they were off schedule because they missed that extra point earlier. So he gets them back out there at 21-7 on the two-point conversion after the personal foul was assessed against Ball State.
Now a little G play this time, and Tyler Shatley, who played defensive line, the left to the right guard, pulls out in front to get in front of Andre Ellington. They shifted into a power eye set with their fullback Darrell Smith, who only gets a few snaps, able to punch it in the end zone.
And PNC Bank presents our hardest working player. There he is, number 83, is a wide receiver, plays on the kick team. Daniel Rodriguez from Stafford, Virginia, served for a year and a half in Iraq and a year in Afghanistan. It was this workout tape that impressed Dabo Swinney. He called and said, why don't you give Clemson a look? He was looking for a place to walk on and play football because he never was able to complete his high school football eligibility. And, of course, there's another reason why he doesn't worry about kickoff teams. He won a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star in Afghanistan, and that's him shooting out of a post in Afghanistan, and he's on the kickoff team here for the Clemson Tigers. What an amazing story. 24 years of age, never had a chance to play college football out of high school. He gets his chance today. The kick was fielded by Jameel Smith. And it is a great, great story from this young man. And Dabo Swinney talks about all the things he does for his young team. Very mature at 24 years of age, and he's really in a position of leadership for this team. He's talking to the wide receivers and helping them out in all aspects of the game.
He said, what a great guy to have on the bus with my guys as we're headed over to a meal or headed out to the hotel. That's a guy that I can trust completely with the message he's sending to my other players.
Got a lot of very impressive references. How about David Petraeus, who was the commander in the theater at the time? You don't take that recommendation. Lenny now. And we got a whistle and a flag coming up, and it's delay a game. And let's go back to the studio and Tom Wormy.
Update. Maryland is at Temple, and it's the Terps who come up with the safety on this play on the poor snap by the Owls. 19-3 Maryland. Perry Hills has thrown 2 TD passes.
We'll see Maryland next week against Connecticut. They're playing NC State today. Running back to throw, 1st and 15 after the delay penalty. His pass complete to Connor Ryan, but not much more. Actually, that's going to be to Zane Fakes, his tight end. That's his first game.
Special back here. Watch him wait, just kind of stutter steps. They run Malachi Goodman out of the play. Do an outstanding job up the field blocking as well. Provide some room. Connor Ryan, number 81, the receiver, gets a block.
Here's Wenning going for the flag pattern. A lot of knocking and bumping, and a flag is thrown on the play. It'd be interesting to see who gets this interference penalty, as Willie Snead was trying to fight off the defensive back. That was Breland covering on the play as well, along with Jonathan Meeks. Here comes David Epperly.
There is no foul on the play. The receiver feet got tangled up. No foul. First.
So no foul, incidental contact, if you will.
Now Snead runs over the top. Says this is the second time they tried to go over the top of Breland, and again the ball underthrown. Andre Ellington trying to stay loose on the side. I don't see how he could not stay loose on a hot human day like this, but he's riding the bike.
Wenning looking at 2nd down and 10. They're at the Clemson 44. There is Edwards. Hit hard to the point of attack, but just keeps going. Down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 7, maybe 8. Meeks or Cooper on the tackle.
Now Stephon Anthony is the guy that's going to hit him in the hole, the middle linebacker, number 12. And you see again, talked about this is a special back now. True sophomore, Juwan Edwards runs through the tackle to pick up a nice gain on 2nd down.
Looking for the 1st down. It's going to be close. That's Edwards, and he's thrown down. Tackle made by Stephon Anthony.
It's a kid that grew up in North Carolina, Juwan Edwards, Matthews, North Carolina. Pete Lembo told us that he did not receive a scholarship from any of the Carolina schools. That he was stunned. They said they were just ecstatic they were able to get him at Ball State.
4th down and long one, and Ball State's going for it. Wanting to throw, puts one up, and there's contact on the play. A flag is thrown. The pass intended for Jack Tomlinson. Meeks is the player involved with it.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Well, again, Meeks is a victim of the underthrow. This ball is not very well thrown. They've got the little wheel route down the sideline, hitch on the outside, one-on-one with Meeks. And the ball's underthrown, so Tomlinson draws the foul. But Wenning's having a tough time getting the ball down the field, and I don't know if the ball's slipping out of his hands, but he's having a tough time throwing the deeper arcing throw.
Well, we saw in the film that we studied, he didn't do much down the field, mostly to the sidelines. But he's got a 1st down anyway after the interference penalty. So this potentially is another penalty-aided drive. Another 15-yard penalty against Clemson. This is Barrington Scott, first carry of the day for him. And Scott up to about the 20-yard line, maybe about a yard on the play. Coming in to make the tackle, Travis Blanks. Also, Corey Crawford turned it in.
Very comfortable. Pete Lembo very comfortable with Scott in the game. Banks in the game. We saw Banks' long touchdown run.
Here's Scott. Carried the ball 4 times a week ago, but he is all down. And Jonathan Willett. Got a helmet off down there, too. That's Barrington Scott. He'll have to leave the field. New rule this year, if you lose the helmet, you've got to stay off for a play, no matter who you are. And Clemson was victimized by it 4 times at quarterback last week.
And Clemson's gone to their 3-man line now with an extra DB on the field. This is a pressure package for them. Wenning sees it. He's pointing out he sees that the linebackers may be coming, trying to adjust the protection.
Veteran offensive line trying to keep pace. There they come, and there he goes. Help by Xavier Brewer. Loss of 9 on the 4th down.
They were trying to figure out who to pick up, and here comes the guy that's going to get the sack right here. But the linebackers are going to come, and they get 3 to block the 2 linebackers, and they leave Deshaun unblocked, and that's what happens. 3-man line, different guys coming, trying to sort that out. That's what Brent Venables is looking for.
All right, shot. His career longest is 52. This will be a 45-yarder. It's low, but it's good. Stephen Schott, who's hit 42 straight PATs, puts a 45-yarder on the board to save Ball State's possession. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. You'll see us in 12 of the top 20 markets, including the #1 market in the country, New York City. We cover 54% of the country with this game today. Glad you're with us. 45-yard field goal by Stephen Schott, who's now 20 of 22 in his career at Ball State. Keeps the Cardinals within reach. Onside kick, and it's recovered. Looks like it's going to be Ball State, but it's loose. And Clemson may have gotten it back. What a gamble by Pete Lembo, calling for the onside after scoring the field goal. And it almost worked.
And I like the call. I think he wanted to obviously wants to get his offense another set of downs and prevent this Clemson offense from being on the field. They've had a tough time stopping them. Really had a great shot at getting it right there, but just could not squeeze it. And then Clemson has one player in the vicinity, and he's able to fall on it. So I like the gamble by Pete Lembo, but
is under review. The ruling on the field is the ball was first touched by Clemson and recovered by Clemson.
Looking for an illegal touching or something like that here on this play. But I like the call. I like the way Pete rolls the dice there a little bit. He understands that his team is a bit overmatched in this game. They have had a tough time. They've had one stop against this Clemson offense. He realizes that, hey, let me see if I can get another possession for my offense and keep Clemson on the sideline.
Ball is at the Ball State 33-yard line. Obviously the best field position of the day. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, it looks like Humphreys touches the football first.
The question is, did the Ball State player flying by get a hand on it before it went 10 yards?
I don't think he was. I think the ball went over his head. I think Humphreys does a good job of reaching, getting the ball with his knee. It looked like a good hustle by the Clemson player to recover.
And the play has been confirmed that it is recovered by Clemson. So the Ball State defense comes out onto the field. And closed captioning for ACC football brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. So the call confirmed. Clemson has it in good position to knock one in here. And that's a challenge to the Ball State defense. Fake orbit play. Boyd downfield, incomplete. Send it to Jerome Brown. There's Eric Patterson. He's back on the field, so good to see him back down for Ball State. And that brings up second down.
Well, we know Sammy Watkins is not playing, will not play until next week after he's serving a 2-game suspension. So it's an opportunity for Jerron Brown and Sharon Peak, Adam Humphreys to step up and make some plays and make themselves viable moving forward for this Clemson offense. We know Hopkins and Watkins are going to be on the field moving forward. It's an opportunity for you to secure some playing time if you're one of these other receivers.
2nd and 10. The orbit sweep goes there to Peak. Sharon Peak not able to get much yardage on it. Brandon Newman stopped him. It's going to be actually a loss of a yard.
There's a heck of a job by Ball State's defense now to force a situation where now you're 3rd down and behind the chains of your Clemson's offense. Opportunity for Ball State to give his coach some confidence for going for that short kick. There's Sammy Watkins.
Yep. He'll be in action next week against Furman. 3rd down and 11. Pass is complete. There's Hopkins, and Hopkins headed to the end zone. Touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins from 34 yards out, so they make Ball State pay for the gamble on the onside kick.
Just a good play fake here. They're coming with pressure. Nobody in the middle of the field. Really a bad angle by the safety. And Nuke Hopkins just shoves it in the end zone. Just a tremendous player. 13 receptions a week ago, and he picked up where he left off. 2 touchdowns today.
3 touchdowns for the year. Catanzaro for the point after kick. It is good. And the Clemson Tigers keep it rolling as they take the onside kick attempt and score on this Nuke Hopkins reception of 34 yards from Boyd. Back after this word from your local ACC stations. Back here at Clemson, we apologize. We've had some transmission difficulties, and they are somewhat related to the weather, which is starting to close in here in Death Valley. Posted on that, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, and most of the Mid-Atlantic states are, from Virginia down through South Carolina today. There's Jameel Smith after Nuke Hopkins has pulled in his second touchdown pass to Taj Boyd this afternoon on his 5th grab of the day. Spencer Benton with the kick. Jameel Smith lets it go out of the end zone. He hasn't had a chance to return one yet today. We saw Sammy Watkins earlier out for a 2-game suspension for team infractions. And what does he give to you? National Freshman of the Year, one of 4 true freshmen All-American first team.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Burst on the scene. Kid was he had 82 receptions for over 1,200 yards. And of course, the big kickoff return, that was a huge play, I believe, in the Maryland game where they were way down and came back. But Sammy Watkins waiting. He sat out the first 2, looking forward to get back on the field. They said he's been practicing with the scout team. I'm sure the defense is pretty excited about it. He's not going to be on that team anymore.
That's starting next week at practice. Here comes the handoff, slow developing play, but gathering steam is going to be Horatio Banks, who has Ball State's only touchdown of the day.
And Banks' helmet pops off, and of course, as we all know now, they got to go sit on the sideline. It'd be interesting to see if they look at that rule. That's an interesting rule.
180 helmet off situations around the country, 17 alone last week in the ACC. 2nd down and 2 after Banks' 8-yard gain. Edwards comes in for him. Ball State now down 28-10. Here's Edwards, and he is jammed up.
Clemson swelling up against the run that time. Excellent job by Banks on the first run. Again, the patience of these Ball State backs have been impressive. As you see Stephon Anthony climbing off the pile, but Edwards has been impressive. We saw Banks' long run for a touchdown. Scott's been pretty good. Brent Venables decides to do defensive coordinator for Clemson here on 3rd and short.
Ball State has struggled on 3rd down. They're 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversion. Winning. Fires the pass. It's intercepted. That is Stephon Anthony. Stephon Anthony, the sophomore from Polk, North Carolina, comes up with the pick of Keith Winning.
Now, poor job by Winning with his eyes. Watch where he goes right here. He starts staring down the receiver, and you see the linebacker just level. Anthony just levels and makes the play. He's watching the quarterback's eyes. So, poor job by the junior of keeping the linebacker out of the throw. And he looks like he's having a problem gripping the football. I don't know if it's a very humid, hot, humid day. Mike Hogwood's told us about that. He looks like, to me, he's having a very difficult time squeezing the football and spinning it today.
1st and 10 for Clemson out to Ball State 39. 2nd straight drive in Cardinals territory. Ellington off 1st down, and there's not much there. With a yard, it's lucky. And Nathan Awley, the only returning starter on Ball State's defensive line, makes the tackle. Starting to get some clouds coming over the sun here. Keeping an eye on the weather for you this afternoon. 2nd down and 9. Boyd to throw. Complete to his tight end. That's Brandon 4. 2nd grab of the day. 3-yard gain to the 35.
It's a good play by Davidson, who's out at the corner spot. Remember, they've had some injuries at the corner spot, so they're really deep in the roster now. He came up, made a nice play playing cover 2. He's got that flat area. Came up, made a good tackle on the big tight end. 3rd down. Boyd, 1 pump. Out of the pocket.
Boyd on his way and gets out of bounds after the first down to the Ball State 26-yard line. Gain of 8. Freeman on the stop.
Talking to Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator, he says, yeah, we're going to have some designed runs, but there's going to be some moments in the game, in every game, where Taj is going to have to get out of the pocket and provide maybe an extra set of downs. That was one of those moments right there.
Boyd steps back, fires, pass complete. Gathering his feet there, that's going to be Ford. His third catch. It's a 7-yard gain. Donovan Jarrett on the tackle.
I'm not sure where he was going now. He catches the football. When you catch it go north to south, young man, he decides to backtrack. He's going to try to set this up as a punt return. He's looking for some blocks. Well, he did a good job of fighting back and getting some of the yards back he initially had when he caught the ball.
He's caught everything thrown in his direction this afternoon. Here comes the handoff. Going to be to Howard. DJ Howard gets the first down, and he's down to the 15-yard line. A gain of 4. Trent Toothman on the tackle. Defending the red zone, presented by CPI Security. Ball State last year, 48 possessions, they allowed 32 touchdowns. Yeah, 85%.
That's not what you're looking for.
No. Boyd back to throw into the end zone. Touchdown! Guess who? DeAndre Hopkins for the 3rd time this afternoon. From 15 yards out of the short field affords an opportunity for the Clemson Tigers again.
Well, good throw in the quick post. The little play fake draws the linebackers up. There's nobody in between he and DeAndre Hopkins. And just a well-thrown ball. Good job by Hopkins to protect the football as the defender closed from the backside.
Third touchdown of the day. Cannizaro's kick is good. And Clemson's lead solidified here at 25. They lead at 35-10 with 5:36 left to go in this first half of play. Taj Boyd's 3rd touchdown strike of the day, and all 3 have gone to Newt Hopkins.
5:36 left here in the first half, and the question is the weather. There's a big dark cloud overhead. The temperature has dropped, and the breeze has picked up. We're going to get wet before this one's over, Steve.
Well, there's a severe thunderstorm watch for this area. It could turn into a warning before long. Emil Smith getting ready for Spencer Benton's kick. And like the others before it, he watches it sail into the end zone. Ruby Tuesday takes us around the ACC to check in on conference action this weekend. With a lot of things going on. Penn State up on Virginia at Charlottesville. Look at Maryland over Temple. Boy, they are taking it out on them. And 21st ranked Kansas State leading over Miami. NC State by a field goal over Connecticut. We'll see Connecticut and Maryland next week. Maine leading Boston College in the first. And Virginia Tech and Austin Peay are just underway. We'll show you some more as we go along. Full schedule later on this afternoon. 1st and 10. Under cloudy skies now. Winning pass complete. And it's out there to Zane Fakes for 4 yards. Elsewhere today at 3 o'clock, North Carolina at Wake Forest. Their first visit there since '97. Savannah State filling the spot originally occupied by West Virginia. They're at Florida State today. Georgia Tech hosting Presbyterian, and an interesting game, Duke at Stanford tonight out west. No Andrew Luck. Does Duke have a chance? Last week against Florida. This is Banks, and almost broke it clean. Save for a tackle save there by Stephon Anthony. He got picked off the pass.
I'm really impressed with the backs from Ball State. Their patience in waiting for the blocking to develop. Again, Banks waits, gets the little trap block, and steps in behind to get the first down.
Winning to throw. Pass is incomplete. Connor Ryan, the intended receiver. Covering on the play, Darius Robinson. Point well taken, though, Dave, about Wenning's problems getting rid of the football on anything that's longer than 5 to 8.
Well, the guy slinging it for Clemson's not having a problem spinning it, but it certainly looks like Wenning, who we really liked on film, and we've heard a lot of good things about, he's having a tough time getting the ball to spin for him today.
The throw, the pass, picked off again. This is Robinson. Darius Robinson picked off the pass intended for Connor Ryan, and Clemson has it again at Ball State territory at the 36-yard line.
Well, and if you're a defense and you're a defensive coordinator, you tell your corners, hey, this guy's having a tough time throwing the ball down the field. Let's squeeze down on the short routes. This is a slant route by Ryan, and just an excellent job of jumping inside the route on the play by Robinson to make the pick. Malachi Goodman's all for it.
1st and 10, Clemson. This is the 3rd straight drive they have started inside the Ball State 40. Cliff Stout. Cole Stout, rather. Cliff's his sophomore from Dublin, Ohio. He came in last week 4 times and Todd Boyd's helmet went off. This time he comes in after choosing the Dabo Sweeney. And 2nd down and 9. He's 12 for 21 and passing.
That's a good opportunity to get him some snaps in meaningful moments of the game.
This is Jerron Brown, and Brown looks like he's got enough for the 1st down inside the 25-yard line. Tony Martin gets the tackle. Jerron Brown, a graduate student out of Shaw, South Carolina.
And Stout, a kid out of Dublin, Ohio. You mentioned his lineage, but only 21 passes a year ago. So an opportunity, like I said, Boyd's been pretty good. But get Stout an opportunity here in the 1st half.
I'm going to get him ready in case there's a helmet problem. And there's the pass to Peak. Not much going on there. Scott and Patterson there on the tackle. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Stephen Archell are exactly right. There is nothing wrong with Taj Boyd. It's just to give Cliff Stout, Cole Stout some reps. And Taj should be back and play in the 2nd half, at least the beginning of it.
The wind braces hard over Memorial Stadium, and here comes the handoff. It's going to be McDowell. He's on his way. Touchdown, Clemson. The Tigers now pushing 40.
Well, Roderick McDowell right there. That was a highlight reel run right there. He made 4 or 5 moves. Let's watch these moves in the hole. How difficult it is to get your hands on this kid. Oh boy, that's what we call a yard sale, because there's jock straps laying all over the place. What a phenomenal move.
That's an ankle break.
McDowell in the hole.
Adexaro gets the kick, and Clemson trying to remove the doubts here. Dabo Sweeney wanted his team to be consistent, and McDowell gets the touchdown, his 2nd of his season. And it's 42-10 here. Check out the new team pages section of the ACC.com, brought to you by Toyota. You'll find exclusive video and features on your favorite team from the ACC Digital Network. Access anytime, anywhere.
Well, Steve, classic example of why you can't give a high-powered offense the short field. You had the short kick after the field goal. They score on that throw from Boyd to Hopkins. You get the interception, touchdown, and all of a sudden it's blown wide open. But this offense, you've got to try to make them go 80 yards. You give them the short field, half the field, they're going to score the majority of the time.
Started with the onside kick after Ball State had narrowed this game down to 21-10. And since then, Clemson has touchdowns and pushed the score to 42-10. Emil Smith hoping that sometime he'll catch one, but Spencer Benton has been pretty tough. And now that he has a 15-mile-an-hour wind right at his back, now they take him out. And they bring another kicker in for Clemson. Number 92. Randy Pinion is going to kick this one off.
It gets difficult in a game when you get 2 or 3 deep on the kicking roster.
You know, the economics of kicking, you know, Bill Dooley once told me, he said, you know, when we had 105 scholarships, I was given a scholarship to the holder. Now I'm trying to convince the kicker to walk on. Pinion getting ready to go. They'll have to have a holder as the wind's really starting to rock here. Advancing up front, and Jamil Smith says, someday I'll get the return one. It didn't happen there. The ACC's on Facebook. Like us on Facebook and become a fan of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
You get breaking news, conference updates, and you can connect with other ACC fans from around the world. New rule this year brings kickoffs that fall into the end zone and are not returned out to the 25-yard line. That's only on kickoffs, not on punt returns. Down one in the end zone there, you're back at the 20. First and 10, Ball State. Lenning still in there. Walker's a setback. Yeah, there's the play fake. Goes maybe Walker straight ahead. And Walker gets out to about the 29. It'll be a gain of 3.
You know, I've talked about it a couple times, and this is a big offensive line, but a good job that by Edwards. And this is what they need to really lean on the run game and slow the game down. You want to play at a certain pace, but you've got to make sure that you keep Clemson off the field. So you've got to take your time offensively.
Here's Edwards again. It's the turn. First guy to hit him was Corey Crawford. Finishing it off, Stephon Anthony. 2-yard gain.
Let's look at Corey Crawford, number 93, defensive end. He's supposed to string the play out, play outside shoulder. He did a nice job of doing that, made the back turn, made Edwards turn back to the inside, and that's where all his help is coming from. So a nice job by by Crawford on the edge that time to play the run.
Ball State 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Wenning looking at 3rd and 4. 2:25 left to go in the first half. Clemson up 42-10. Wenning complete.
Well, it's a good tackle, Steve, by Darius Robinson to keep him short of the first down. You saw a lot of Tigers up around who's coming, who's not coming. All of a sudden they drop off in coverage. They force Wenning to make the short throw. Now you got to make the tackle. And Robinson made an excellent tackle there to hold Ball State short of the first down.
So they're going punt formation this time. It's 4th down and 1. In summary, in the second quarter, a failed onside kick and 2 turnovers. Interceptions thrown into the hands of Stephon Anthony and also Darius Robinson. That put Clemson in command of this game 42-10. That was a kick by Evander. This is Rodriguez fielding the kick, but it'll go 48 yards on the punt. There's no return. And coming up on the Hyundai Halftime Report, we're going to have highlights from the Penn State-Virginia game and also Miami and Kansas State, along with scores from other ACC games.
Yeah, Dabo Sweeney sent Rodriguez in to return that kick. We talked about it, documented him and what he'd done in his tour of duty. And there he is talking to the coach, saying, hey, you know what? We wanted you back there to get a return, but get away from the football if it's rolling around. So a little coaching going on there for Dabo.
First and 10, stop back to throw, pass incomplete, picked off. The interception by Kenneth Lee. We got a flag on the play. It was deflected. This could be something that Pete Lembo could be looking for here. Let's see what the flag says.
A little early contact maybe before the interception.
Alvin Sweeney anxious to see what this is going to be. He'd like to see Stout get a couple of successful plays in here. We have 1:17 to go.
Pass interference on the defense, number 36. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So a break for Clemson.
See what happens. Eric Patterson playing corner to the left of your screen. Get a little pressure off the left side. Stout throws in there, and looks like it bang bang play there. Patterson played the inside shoulder. Sometimes if you establish yourself in a spot, the official will give that to you. I didn't see that.
And off with Dowell. Georgia scored once today, and he rumbles ahead for at least a 3-yard gain. It appears we're going to miss this threatened shower, the first one anyway. There's a series of them coming through. But it certainly has made it a lot more pleasant here at Clemson. Pass complete. And that's Adam Humphries from Stout. Pulled Stout, put it right on the numbers.
That stops the clock momentarily with 45 seconds, a 27-yard gain. And they're in Ball State territory at the 49.
Well thrown ball in the seam to Humphreys, Dorman High School.
Pass to number 18, Jerron Brown.
Jerron Brown, it's going to be complete. Clock rolling though, 27 seconds left to go on a 5-yard gain.
Travis Freeman.
Job by Stout here, Steve, to come in and run the offense. He's got the tempo going the way Chad Morris wants.
Nice ball, should have been caught by Sharon Peak.
Pass intended for number 19, Sharon Peak.
And Sharon Peak has got a couple of screen passes. You know, Sharon Peak, number 19, and Chad Humphreys, number 16, both from the same high school, Dorman High School. Actually watched them play on TV last night. Had a big win, 50-6 last night. Dorman High School win. So a couple of their products getting to play here Saturday.
Third down coming up now for Clemson. 13 seconds left to go. Stout putting it up, and it's going to be overthrown. Patterson covering on
for
the
number
play.
18, Jerron Brown, incomplete.
Jerron Brown, the intended receiver. That stops the clock with 8 seconds. It'll be 4th down and 5. Now, if you're thinking Catanzaro, this is a little out of his range. This is a little out of everybody's range. You're at the 44-yard line.
Well, you got 8 seconds left, so you're gonna go ahead and take a shot here. Try to move the chains. You know that you're giving, if you have to give the ball up here at midfield, not a lot of time for Ball State to do anything with. Dabo's going to take Dabo Swinney's going to think about it here for a second.
Yep. Take a timeout here on 4th down. Now, one thing you probably don't want to do is punt the ball away in this situation. It's the only opportunity that Ball State would have for a quick score.
To the 2012 London Olympics.
Now let's go down to the sidelines with another check on the weather and Mike Hogwood.
But Steve, you were right. We missed the first shower, but I just felt a few sprinkles a moment ago. The temperature has really dropped here, which is, considering how hot and humid it was, that is a good thing. But hopefully with these blue skies around us, we're going to miss some of this and be able to escape it and complete this game.
Wow, that shot you're looking at right there is looking south of the field. The activity is more toward the north end of the field. And that's where the weather is coming from. So Clemson now on 4th down. Looking at 4th down and 5 with 8 seconds left to go. After the short timeout, they're lining up for a kick. Catanzaro is the holder. Spencer Benton will be the field goal kicker this time around. It's a 61-yard attempt out of the hold of Catanzaro. Benton, who's got quite a foot. There it is. He got it! 61 yards, Spencer Benton. Halftime comes to an end, and what a way to end it. Amazing. Spencer Benton had been putting them out of the end zone on his kickoffs.
He had a little wind at his back, but boy, he hammered that one.
And let's go to the sidelines now. Mike Hogwood.
Hey, Steve Dabo, what a way to end the half there, huh?
Well, you know, we got a lot of confidence in Spencer Benton. He's got a big leg, and we've worked that in camp. You know, we've kicked several long ones, so it's good to see him be able to punch through there.
45 points, not a lot to be unhappy about there.
Well, our guys set the tone early. We were able to come out and have 2 great opening drives. Defense got turnovers and a couple stops there at the end to help us.
Well, I think you can see there's weather coming. You concerned about that?
No, it is what it is. We just got to play.
All right. And Dabo heading to the locker room, and we will be doing our halftime from here at Memorial Stadium in Clemson. We'll be back with it in a moment. 45-10, Tigers on top. Right here.
On this week, on this end of a shutout. Meanwhile, Clemson, this is a 61-yard field goal attempt for Spencer Benton. Oh,
61 yards.
Spencer Benton.
Let that marinate for a few minutes. You believe that? How about the offense? And, you know, Clemson's got one of the better offenses in the country. Now you can hit from 61 yards.
Meanwhile, in Philly,
in 6 last year and did not get a bowl bid despite the fact that they were bowl eligible. The MAC conference though plays a pretty good ball, but they're behind the 8 ball today. Randy Pinion will handle the kickoff duties as Gabo Sweeney gets down on the depth chart on his kickers today with a big lead here at halftime, 45-10. We get ready for third quarter action. Neil Smith still back, hoping that he can return this one. So Pinion kicked his last one out of the end zone. Winds died down from that direction, and this might be returnable, but no. Skips out of the end zone and took him out to the 25-yard line for Ball State.
Well, this is an opportunity now for Pete Lembo's group to come in and get some meaningful minutes now. Talk about meaningful minutes. This is one of the best football team, maybe the best football team they'll see all year long. And Clemson, it's an opportunity for Wenning. He knows they're going to be coming. Settle back in and make some plays for your offense.
You got to start thinking about what's happening ahead of him. There's Wenning's report card, 8 out of 15. He's had 2 picked off today, and both led to score. Wenning, pass complete. And it's out there. Looks like Tomlinson, Jack Tomlinson, for 9 yards. That's his 4th catch. That's going to be Willie Steve. Breland in on the tackle now for Clemson. Moving up 2nd and 1.
Good first down call, just a quick hitch to the outside, get the ball in your hands quickly. Good quick throw, early throw by Wenning here to start the second half.
Edwards as his setback, and here comes Edwards. Edwards gets into the hole. The ball stolen away from him, but the ball was blown dead. There's a flag on the play to boot.
Yeah, Malachi Goodman looked like he might have gotten a jump. If he's still in the game, he is still in the game. So looked like the big defensive end was got an early start.
And so give Ball State, if it is indeed approaching, 5-yard penalty, gives him the first down.
We had a chance to talk to Malachi Goodman yesterday, big defensive end, and Dabo talked about it. He says, when you get a chance to see the side of this guy's hands, his hands are unbelievable. He gets you in the death grip. It's over. If number 97 gets over you.
You play baseball and not need a catcher's mitt. Wenning goes for the sidelines for Smith, and that one just thrown away. Good coverage by Darius Robertson. Already picked off.
2nd and 2.
Wenning today.
Yeah, good decision by Wenning to throw the football away. He again wanted to hitch on the outside. That time Darius Robinson was right in the hip pocket of Jameel Smith.
2nd down and 10, Ball State. And off. It's Edwards. Forward progress gets him out of about 40 feet. It's going to be a 4-yard gain.
Gain of 4 yards on the play.
Leading the charge along with Travis Blanks. Star here, Clemson out of Tallahassee. Robinson will make this tackle. Pass to Connor Ryan. It's going to be a short one. That'll bring up 4th down and 5. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 1. Wenning to keep. Ooh, that's close. And it looks like he's going to get a good spot at the 49.5-yard line. He may have to measure. They're going to
give him a first down. And you know, that's a good job by Pete Lembo's group to understand if this is a hustle situation. You practice these scenarios where you're going to go with a quick 4th down short yardage play. And they caught Clemson a little bit off guard. Clemson was trying to sub some people in. Good job and good execution by Ball State there to keep their poise and get that first down.
Tight end set to the right. They'll run left. Edwards into the hole. Not an awful lot there. Malachi Goodman in on the tackle.
We're talking about Malachi Goodman, number 97, playing off the block, fight to the inside and wrap up Juwan Edwards. Talked about those big meat hooks he's got. He got Edwards wrapped up and it's over. His hands are gigantic. We talked about that just a minute ago.
He puts his hands over somebody, you think you're under an umbrella. Here's Wenning to throw. Hit as he threw. Intended for the tight end. Zane fakes. It goes incomplete. Watson put the hit on. Josh Watson right there.
Josh Watson has gotten pressure before. He's right in here and going to get pressure right in here as he pushes up the field. This is the second time we've seen him in the backfield. Remember, he had the batted ball early in the game. This time he hits Wenning right in the back before he gets the ball out.
He had the center all he could ask for that time. This is 3rd down and 9. 0 for 7 Ball State is on 3rd down conversion. Down on the scoreboard to reflect that. 45-10.
Look at all the players standing up around the line of scrimmage.
Here comes Banks. And Banks, who scored on a 54-yarder, redshirt freshman from Chicago, gets the first down and penetrates down inside the 25-yard line.
Talking about all the defenders standing up, and they stunted themselves out of the hole there. And a good job again, good patience by Banks. Banks has run extremely well. He's been very patient, found the hole. Good job of that big offensive line up front. Because nobody declared to put their hand on the ground for Clemson. So good job of the big fellas up front for Ball State to get it blocked.
Banks missed a lot of last season and opened the door for Juwan Edwards to take the spot. Now he's getting some carries. And here, to the yardage, and it's a touchdown, Ball State. Second time this afternoon, Horatio Banks from 21 yards out. And Ball State says, wait just a minute.
I've used this word a number of times, and watch the patience of number 4 Horatio Banks here. Waits, and then finds a crease on the backside. That play actually was designed to come to the left. He's just kind of felt the hole and slid to it, and then found his little crease and stuck it in the end zone for the second time today.
Steven Schott getting ready for the point after. And it is good. The upright to bounce in, but there's Banks. What a day for him. 6 carries, 121 yards, and he just scored his second touchdown. Clemson up 45-17. Flag thrown into the play. We'll get out to about the 18. We'll see what the penalty flag here is. So Ball State gets things going in the second half. Here's Horatio Banks. He has a pair of touchdown runs this afternoon, one of 27, the other of 54.
Yeah, that was that number 1 Clemson defense on the field for that drive. The Ball State just took it down the field and got in the end zone. So well done. Their adjustments at halftime, or whatever they decided to do, came out and they really responded.
Long consultation before this call here.
Block below the waist. Can't hear the officials' mic, but that's a block below the waist.
On the return team, number 27. That penalty is accepted. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
All right, next week we go to College Park for ACC football here on the ACC Network, and it'll be Connecticut. Randy Edsall's former team and the Maryland Terrapins going at it. And airtime begins at 12 noon. Our Hyundai update, Maryland leading Temple 29-17. They got smothered by Temple last year. And they're looking to get some revenge. And Virginia's pulled ahead of Penn State. That's our latest Hyundai update. Cole Stout back there at quarterback now. Probably going to see him in the majority of the second half. He'll throw on the run, and it is complete. Brought down, back up tight end. Stanton's second year. Receiver Cole Stout getting ready for his second play from scrimmage here in the second half. And Stout will carry this time after the play fake. He gets to about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, the inside zone read that time for Stout. They're faking the sweep, and then he's reading to see if the end widens. If he does, he'll pull it and duck into the inside. Pretty good run for Stout. His opportunity to run the football.
Get a Ball State player who's down. Defensive lineman, it looks like. And a screen from us. The weather situation has calmed somewhat. The first wave of storms went bad to our north, but they're expecting more as the day goes along. And that's going to be Nick Miles. He's a sophomore from Burlington, North Carolina. Actually met to Eastern Allen Alamance, and that's part of Pete Lembo's North Carolina connection from his years at Elon. And he's got a couple of stars. We talked about Edwards from the Charlotte area. Third down coming up now for Clemson. Second unit in there. And Zach Brooks is the running back. He's the fourth running back in the game. Pass is complete. See if they give him the spot. The spot's good enough for a first down at the 20-yard line. And that's Sharon Peak.
We look at what Stout did there. Excellent job of finding, getting the ball to the sticks. Peak get right to the sticks and make the catch.
This is Humphreys on the catch. A great open field tackle made out there on the wing, and that is Dawson. Andre Dawson has been picked on a little bit after he came in.
A quick read by Dawson. They've been burned by the screen early in the game, and Dawson obviously standing on the sidelines at that time is now in the game, but or was in the game. Comes in and makes a nice play there.
Loss on the play. About 2, 2nd and 12. Pass down the field, complete. And that's going to be to the backup wide receiver, Matt Porter. Sophomore out of Charleston, South Carolina. So Stout getting the team into his own rhythm now.
Excellent throw there on the deep end route by Stout. Stood tall in the pocket and delivered a nice throw, well-thrown ball. Easy catch for Porter as he came into the deep middle.
Porter's still in. This is Brooks with his first carry of the day, and he runs right into Kenneth Lee. About 2 on the play. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, you were just talking about those North Carolina players on this Ball State team. Chris Pauling is another one. He's a freshman from High Point. There are 3. They've got 3 more coming in from Charlotte. Pete Lembo, who did some great recruiting for Elon in the state of North Carolina, says those relationships are still paying off.
He's got him in key positions. Pauling in that secondary. Pass complete to Brooks out of the flats. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. Pinkston in on the tackle for Ball State.
Brooks, a true freshman, Steve, out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. You mentioned the 4th back in the game. We've seen Howard, Ellington, and McDowell, and now Brooks getting some meaningful playing time. Young kid out of Arkansas.
He's lined up there again. Stout blitzes on, steps up, fires, almost picked off by Pinkston. Intended for Sharon Peak.
Well done by Stout to step around the blitz. Blitz is going to come here, and you're going to see Stout just slide in the pocket. He sees it all the way, peeks at it, now just slide inside. Excellent footwork. A little bit ill-advised on the throw, though. Pinkston had a chance to pick that one out. Got to keep that on the inside shoulder. Not allow Pinkston to angle to get that.
What more is there to do for Spencer Benton? Kicks a 61-yard field goal, and Dabo Sweeney sends him out to hit a punt. Only the 2nd punt of the day for the Clemson Tigers. Jameel Smith is back to return. Clemson up big. They haven't had too many unsuccessful possessions. That was almost long. Fair catch call for as Smith looking right up into the sun. He'll pull it down at the 18-yard line. It's a 41-yard kick, no return. They haven't had much punt or kickoff return yardage here this afternoon, with lots of Clemson points. Up 45-17 on Ball State. Welcome back to Clemson, and the Tigers have the lead here, 45-17. They've just punted the ball away. And we are back with Ball State in possession. Keith Wenning still at quarterback. They don't have too much depth at quarterback. They've got some injuries there. The next guy back is a walk-on true freshman. So Wenning may have to play for a while here today. Beasley putting on the pressure. Pass is complete. Out to Edwards, and he gets the first down at about the 29-yard line.
That's a good job by Wenning. He's come out here in the second half with a little bit more confidence. I thought he played a little shaky in the second quarter of the first half, but here does a good job of keeping his poise. Scrambles out, finds the drop off to Edwards, gets a first down.
Here comes Edwards again. Edwards a sneaky back. He's still on his feet, and he's up to the 44-yard line. You know, you look at this kid, he doesn't seem to hit the hole with any speed, but he'd get paid off at the back end.
And he stayed down on the play, but we'll look at that in a second. Here's the run now. It's a zone read play. The end widens, so Wenning gives the ball off. And 5'11", 230 pounds, had 200 yards a week ago. Looked like he got rolled up right there at the end. That ankle might have gotten rolled up at the back end of this tackle. See the defender fall on his ankle. And boy, you don't like to see that.
Lift the foot up. Oh yeah, there you go.
It's like Christian trying to bring him down, the linebacker, Quandon Christensen. Christian, I'm sorry, trying to bring him down.
And Edwards, who's and you know, the combination between he and Horatio Banks, and he's going to go off under his own power. Now, whether he comes back, it's up to Pete Lembo, but he's going to go back out. They've got Horatio Banks. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Twitter world with our AT&T fan tweets. Got a bunch of them here today. Connor Godwin writes, Andre Ellington is a beast. End of story. Ian Nuke Hopkins. CJ Spiller checking in with us today. Travel day for the kid. Need my Tigers to keep me updated with the game. Well, he was a great back for Clemson.
Yeah, when Ellington arrived, he was getting those comparisons to CJ Spiller.
Right. Leading covers on the pass intended for Willie Snead. Picks up second down.
He arrived on the scene right at the end of CJ Spiller's career. And, a big brother down there.
Ellington, how about him last week against Auburn? 228 yards, but did not score.
They took care of that today.
Yep. The first two scores that Clemson put on the board. Luke Hopkins came around for clean war. Here's Banks, and there's not much as they probe the left side of that line. Chewy in on the tackle along with Deshaun Williams.
Yeah, and a good job this time by Clemson to string it out. Watch how many of the orange shirted defenders continue to run to the sideline and string the play out. Really no place for Banks to go. Excellent job by Williams and the big fellas up front to run.
Ed Venables, coordinator at Oklahoma, has called this a unique opportunity to come and coach here. His defense has looked pretty good this afternoon. They've had two pickoffs. Manning back to throw. Smith gets it and is flattened by Travis Blanks. No gain on the play.
Well, this is a kid that you talk about a guy that Venables is excited about. Brent Venables is Travis Blanks. He is a true freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida. And the kid was the #2 rated safety in the country coming out. Now he plays some of their nickel, plays kind of a hybrid linebacker some for them. But he was actually being recruited by Oklahoma when Venables was still there. And they was surprised to see him show up here in Clemson the same time Venables did. He was excited about that.
North Florida Christian High School. Evander with a kick. And this is going to be Rodriguez back there to try to field it, but it takes a very gratuitous Ball State bounce. It comes out at the 2-yard line. Wow, 54-yard punt. Clemson up, and we'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. All right, Tom, thank you very much. See Maryland next week against Connecticut at College Park on the ACC network. First field position of the day. Clemson trying to make it better by about 2 yards. Daniel Rodriguez running on that play. He was our PNC toughest player. Young man, if he just joined us out of Stafford, Virginia, won a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star for service in Iraq and Afghanistan. Still had lots of college eligibility, so when he got out of the Army, he decided to give a call and see who'd let him walk on. Jay Howard with the carry, his second straight at 6 yards. Clemson just trying to push this thing out of the shadow of their end zone and get a little running room here. This is a good play here. Howard
running out of the game there. Get Roderick McDowell on real quickly. Howard hurt his shoulder on that play.
And they give it to McDowell. How do you do? Just got here. Lost the 2 back to the 10-yard line.
Well, Ball State's energy here in the second half has been better than Clemson's. I mean, let's be honest. They've taken it down the field, scored. They had a little bit of something going, and they got stopped. Had to remember they went for it on 4th down, got the 1st down. Had a nice punt there, down it inside, and they've been able to flip the field here. Now an opportunity for Ball State to secure some short field here, and then maybe Jameel Smith an opportunity to return a kick. Has not had an opportunity yet today.
It's going to be Randy Pinion. It's the first 3 and out of the day for the Clemson Tigers. They lead this game 45-17. And Pinion puts a lot of air underneath this one. Smith will call for the fair catch. Now that's the best starting position for Ball State this afternoon at the 41-yard line. Fans, check out the ACC Road Trip driven by Chevy with Tommy Kane and the crew. The Ultimate Road Trip Sweepstakes is back with a chance to win a trip to either the Country Music Awards in Nashville, or the ACC Football Championship game in Charlotte. To enter, log on to the ACC.com/roadtrip or visit us on Facebook. UK was in Atlanta last week.
If Tommy Kane shows up on your campus, make sure you follow him, because wherever he goes, there's going to be a lot of fun involved. That's what Tommy Kane's all about.
Well, you know, we've talked about the weather here today. We have a thunderstorm watch here, but now we understand they have evacuated the stadium at Wake Forest, where that game between North Carolina and Wake Forest has been suspended. It has not started yet. It was about to start at 3. And they are, so this weather is wreaking havoc probably farther north more so than here. They do have a severe thunderstorm watch on here in the Clemson area for a massive frontal system that's moving up the east this afternoon. 1st and 10. Ball State winning, pass complete. This is Mabon. Mabon is tackled by Darius Robinson after a 7-yard gain.
Getting the quick hitch. He's a sophomore, got it out there. Mabon gets up the field. Freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri.
He's the bottom third of a 3-receiver stack to the right side, and now Ball State can make Clemson uncomfortable. They're able to get something here. Here comes a run, and that's going to be Barrington Scott into the hands of Sean Breland, and a gain of 16, and they're moving the chains again.
Well, this is a group on the field for Clemson that's the starting linebacker core is in the game. The starting secondary is in the game. It's not like Clemson's made a bunch of changes and they don't have their regulars on the field.
Wenning steps inside the pressure. The pass is it complete? It's to Sneed. It is. And Sneed's inside the 30 down to the 27.
Nice job. Good accurate throw, bringing back down the sideline on the comeback route. Good throw by Wenning. Good job by Sneed to work back this quarterback.
It's his 5th catch. Breland on the tackle. They'll ride the ball into the hole, and again, Barrington Scott will carry inside the 20, and they're picking up wholesale yardage. Corico Wright on the tackle, but it's a 7-yard gain. They're getting yardage in chunks.
Brent Venable just saying it's a wholesale changes. You got Goodman back on the field, the defensive end. Malachi Goodman back on the field. Crawford back on the field.
Watson and Jarrett inside. Here's the rollout now on the keep, and the pass complete to Mabon. He gets, actually Dylan Curry, the tight end. Spencer Shuey on the tackle.
Goodman's job is to protect against the bootleg. He's there and extends and creates maybe a throwing angle toughness for Wenning, but a good job of getting the ball to his tight end. Good hit by Christian there, the linebacker, but nice steady movement. Good first down plays here for Ball State.
5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. They're in the red zone. Scott, a wall of Clemson orange develops over near the hole on the right side, and he'll lose a yard on the play trying to get to the 15, back to the 16. Jonathan Meeks led the charge. With Crawford. Scott goes to the sidelines. Now remember, Edwards twisted his ankle, their leading ground game.
Well, he got off to such a good start. The crowd was into it, but the crowd's kind of gone silent, and the effort, not the effort, but the energy of the Clemson group has kind of waned a little bit, trying to find it here on this drive as Ball State's getting after him a little bit.
3rd and 6. Quick pass to the flats intended for Banks, incomplete. That was Blanks who was covering on the play.
Stephon Anthony, the middle linebacker this time, is not picked up on the blitz. And he gets in Winning space. Winning had actually no chance to wait for that to develop and just kind of threw the football away. So good pressure, good job by Clemson's defense to rise up on third down.
So Steve Schott comes back out looking for his second field goal of the afternoon. This is going to be a 32-yard kick for Schott. He hit a 45-yarder earlier in the day, 33-yard kick. Using the right hash mark out of the hole of Scott Cavander. Kick is up, and it is good. Going from right to left. Schott with his second hit of the day, and now all of a sudden things get a little interesting. Ball State trying to make it a ball game here in the third quarter, which has 90 seconds to remain. Pete Lembo says that his team starting to respond to adversity. Well, it's the two multiple touchdown playmakers for the Clemson Tigers today. Of course, Andre Ellington.
Well, Andre Ellington got good blocking on his first touchdown run, got in behind his center, Dalton Freeman, and here just another power play, got in behind the fullback and shoved it in the end zone there. But just minimal action really for Andre Ellington. This guy, DeAndre Hopkins, was a monster. 3 touchdown receptions on the day. They were not able to cover him at all. Just a good job by Nuke Hopkins after a 13 reception performance a week ago. Has 3 touchdowns today. But see the 2 touchdowns. Andre Ellington had the 2 TDs, but still held with 3.2 yards a carry. But DeAndre Hopkins, like I said, they did not cover him all day long, and that's because of who he is. He's a big-time player.
Now you wonder what happens now that Sammy Watkins comes back next week. And this really puts the tools at Dabo Swinney's disposal as Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, 3 touchdowns in his 6 receptions on the day. Now has 18 on the year.
Well, and they've had an opportunity really to sit Andre Ellington down. He played in the first quarter and a little bit in the second quarter, and that was it. The other backs have handled the duty, so you've minimized the hits and the damage on Andre Ellington going into week 3.
Ryan will come out of the end zone after going 2 yards deep, and he will be hit and pushed back to the 17-yard, 19-yard return. Of course, Taj Boyd also left early in this game. The next to last, he did all but the last offensive series for Clemson in the first half.
Well, you see only 4 balls hit the ground, so that's pretty good. Taj Boyd did a nice job of distributing the football, ran for some first downs. He did the things that Chad Morris is looking for from him. Now, on the field right now, I think that there's a little bit of concern in Dabo's mind as to where is the energy from my team here in the second half.
Here's McDowell on the carry, and the cutback puts him right in the lap of Travis Freeman, but it does get him a 5-yard gain.
I think Dabo Swinney is very pleased with his first unit offensively. I don't think he's overly pleased with his first unit defensively, though. They've been pushed around here in the second half, and he would like to see this second unit offensively get some energy going and pump this building up a little bit more.
I think it goes back to his secondary. He was worried about him after the Auburn game. It's a nice completion out to Sharon Peak. That gets him first down yardage out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 10. Up next, Furman, and then it's all on the line. A team that everybody says will win this conference this year outright in its championship and plays in the same division as Clemson is lurking on the schedule at Tallahassee on September 22nd. A couple of All-State players that are down on the field.
Yeah, Jarrett Swaby, the safety, and Andre Dawson, the corner, both down after this screen pass, trying to come up to make the tackle.
And Dawson, the other injured player, Andre Dawson, they are running out of cornerbacks today. We already have seen Jeffrey Garrett go. We didn't see him come back. Eric Patterson got knocked down. He did come back. This is Swaby.
Let's take a look at it. Oh, they collide together. There it is. Both guys go helmet to helmet.
So there's Swaby being helped to his feet. And that's with that in this break. Let's head to the studio and Tom Worming.
Thank you, Steve. Time for a Hyundai update. We start with NC State at UConn. It's Lyle McCombs for the Huskies. 5 yards. He's in. NC State has a 3-point lead late. Temple in Maryland, and it's Coyer to Jalen Fitzpatrick. A 2-point lead for Maryland late in that one, Steve.
Boy, Maryland can't get out of there soon enough. They lost big to Temple last year, and they'd like nothing more to return the favor. All right, the injured players off the field, and we are 1st and 10. Clemson, ball on the Clemson 35-yard line. Second year is in motion. Stout looking downfield, wants Bryant, deflected right in his hands, and he dropped it. They had 5 drops a week ago. Bryant had a long completion that was called back because of a penalty before the snap.
Let's look at Martavius Bryant here. Does a good job of getting around the corner, and really a good job of getting himself, settling himself in the hole. Now you just got to finish the play, catch the football.
Here's McDowell working his way back and gets pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Short of the first down by 2, but it's a gain of 6.
By number 8, Travis Freeman.
Kingston makes the tackle.
This kid's got some nice feet now. You talk about a guy who can move around, make people miss. Knocked on that last play on a blitzing linebacker too. So McDowell only 5'9", 195, playing pretty big right now.
We're seeing a lot of those type of backs come around. Auburn had a whole bunch of them last week against Clemson, and they decided not to run the ball and started to throw the ball a little bit more. 3rd down and 2. Stout hands off. McDowell. And some more open running on. This is the type of stuff that Dabo Swinney likes to see as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Falling and Dehaney have made the last 2 stops here for the Ball State Cardinals. Ball State making it interesting. They score 10 points in the quarter, but they still trail by 25. And Clemson Tigers up 45-20. Big 2nd quarter explosion for Clemson, and 21 of those 32 points scored on a missed onside kick and 2 interceptions that set Clemson up. Starting the 4th quarter, this is Corey Stout. Cole Stout, rather, going long, wants Brown, and it's knocked away. Kingston on the play. That is Sharon Peak, intended receiver.
Number 6, Jason Pinkston.
Yeah, well played by the secondary that time. Job by Chris Paulding, the freshman safety, number 25, and you mentioned Pinkston 6, the corner, gets in there and strips it out. But good job by Ball State to be on the coverage, knock it out.
We're at Death Valley Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. Steve Martin here along with Dave Archer and Mike Hogwood for the ACC Network. And off inside.
Number 24,
Brooks, Zach Brooks.
Tackled by number 8,
yard.
Travis Freeman.
Let's take a look at our Food Lion 3-quarter stats. Rush yardage, yeah. Ball State picking some up here in that quarter. Total yards in the 3rd quarter, 138 to 76 in favor of Ball State. Total yards in favor of Clemson.
Well, that 194 now is against majority against the number 1 Clemson defense. That's not going to please Dabo Swinney.
Stop, complete. Nice pass completion out there to Stanton Secondary of 26 yards.
Another redshirt freshman on the field. He's able to find the seam and a well-thrown ball. Boy, I like the way this kid throws the football. Got a nice field. Nice catchable football.
Hand off. And it's going to be to Brooks. Big hit there taken by Kingston. Also by Quentin Cooper. Zach Brooks, you know, we were talking yesterday. You look at the snaps in this game, 69 to 51. Both of these teams were flying at the 90 mark or more last week in their wins. Stout back to throw. Pursued and throws that one out of bounds. But in the conversation we had with Dabo Swinney there yesterday, was he talking this number correct, Dave? 65 freshmen and sophomores on this team.
Yeah, 65 freshmen and sophomores. This is a young football team. And then you talk about the impactful guy. You got a junior quarterback. Sammy Watkins is a sophomore. So they've got a number of players that potentially are back again next year. Obviously, all those sophomores and freshmen are all going to be back. So good group.
3rd and 12, pass complete. That's Bryant, and that's a touchdown. Cole Stout drills his first touchdown pass of his college career, a 22-yard strike to Martavis Bryant.
Well, strike is exactly the way to describe it, because little play fake, set your feet, and a rifle shot out of Stout's hands. He throws it right under the underneath defender, and that's the one where you got to get the nose of the ball to turn over and pulls it into Bryant, who's running down that middle seam area. Excellent throw. Good job by Bryant to squeeze it, but that's one that he wouldn't be able to look at his teammates if he hadn't caught that one.
We have a man down now for Ball State. That's Chris Pauling, the true freshman out of High Point, North Carolina. And he's the strong safety, free safety, defending in the end zone. Bryant gets the score. Martavis Bryant now, that's his 3rd career touchdown. Last year he had 9 catches, 221 yards, and 2 scores. He picks up right where he left off this year in game number 2 from Cole Stout.
Now, this was an impressive throw. Of the throws we saw Taj make, he made some good ones. This was as good as any of those. That was a big time throw over the underneath defender to get it to Bryant, who's streaking down the seam.
Kick point after is good. Timeout on the field. Kick after good by Williams, and Clemson's up big.
ACC football is brought to you by your CPI security systems, by BMW, by AT&T, and by Buick.
Campus of Clemson filled with students and fans alike in anticipation of the season opener. We're ready to go. It's been so far so good. 52-20, Clemson in the lead. Andy Pinion getting ready to kick off here. He's gone too deep for kickers, punters, field goal, and extra point man. Smith will do what he's done very well this afternoon and let him go out of the end zone. You know, nothing gets you closer to the must-see moments of any day. We've had a couple of here. Than the ACC Digital Network. If you missed it or you want to see it again, well, we got you covered. And on Saturday mornings, catch ACC Kickoff live at 11 a.m. The ACC Digital Network. It's brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Go to youtube.com/ACC Digital Network. And Dorsey and Riley and Jeff are there to get you all filled in. They'll be looking at Spencer Benton's 61-yard field goal, which is an ACC career best. Obviously, the career best of Clemson. Ball State, 11 possessions, the 7th time they've been on the 25-yard line. And on the field, carried by Barrington Scott. And our chief meteorologist and sideline guy is Mike Hogwood.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I just talked with our game manager here today, and he said everything has missed us. It is absolutely clear we're going to get this whole game in without any weather, and that is great news.
Not so great up in Winston-Salem, where they have suspended the Wake Forest, North Carolina game. They weren't able to dodge this wave of showers that's coming through the Atlantic Coast region. 2nd down and 9, Ball State. They're at their own 26-yard line. They trail here 52-20. Barrington Scott. Straight ahead, not much there.
Mike talked about talking to the game manager. He didn't talk to Taj Boyd, did he? So often we hear about game management from the quarterback. I didn't know if that was the game manager he talked to. He did a pretty good job of managing the game while he was in the game.
He was more of a surgeon than a butcher, he said, by his own estimation.
Exactly right.
He was talking to us yesterday. He went to one of those summer quarterback camps and talked to Trent Dilfer, and that's what Trent told him. Talked to him about poise, too. I thought those things were. Walk out there like you're wearing a 3-piece suit. Here's running back to throw. Pass is out there complete. Close to the 1st down to Connor Ryan. Robinson with the tackle. Let's go back to the studio. Has got more.
Thanks, Steve. Hyundai update. Maryland has just scored. 7-yard TD run. Justice Pickett. The Terps on top of Temple, 36-27. Just a couple minutes to go in that one.
And the Terps hold on. We'll be at College Park next week. Randy Edsel and the Terrapins taking on his old team, the Connecticut Huskies. We'll be on the air with it at 12 noon with the ACC Blitz with Tom and Tommy. Pass intended for Jameel Smith by Wayne.
Pass intended for number 2,
Jameel Smith. Stops the clock with 11:39 to go. You look at Taj, and he talks about poise, but nothing beats getting your weight down so you can execute the position, and that seemed to be a problem at the end of last year.
Well, I think he took stock in who he was at the beginning of the season, and then realized what he was at the end. This is a guy that, you know, when you look at his numbers, the first 8 games are undefeated, 8-0. You have 24 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The last 6 games of the season, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It was a tough situation when you talk about. They were 8-0 at one time, lost to Georgia Tech in a hard-fought game at Georgia Tech, and then the season kind of started to get away from them. You know, this team won the ACC championship last year, and that guy is a main reason why they did. But everybody wants to talk about what happened to him in the Orange Bowl, so they come back with that chip on their shoulder. And there you see the numbers, first 10, last 4. But it really started after game 8 is when things started to slip away for him after they were 8-0 and lost at Georgia Tech. So he took stock in that, went back and looked at every game film, looked at every tape, evaluated what he did wrong. He said his coach makes this disaster tape where they look at all the mistakes they made and try to correct on them. And he took, like I said, took a lot of stock in what he was and what he wasn't, and improved himself. He's looking for a big year this year.
Got Cavanda in here to punt on 4th down and 2. And there is Rodriguez, but he will not field the punt. It'll be knocked down, and just be a good long punt now for Ball State. Another 54-yarder by Scott Cavanda, who came in here with a 43-yard average. Timeout on the field. Clemson by 32. First and 10, and a new quarterback, Morgan Roberts from Charlotte Country Day. Charlotte, North Carolina. He gets out of the backfield and gets a rude welcome to this game by Kenneth Lee.
He tried to take off before he faked the football to the tailback, and things got sideways from there. Zach Brooks comes across on the zone read and runs into his quarterback, and Roberts tries to go before he'd fake the handoff, and next thing he knew, he had a couple of Cardinals wrapped around him.
He led his school to a state private school championship in North Carolina 2 years ago. He's a redshirt freshman. Hand off now to Brooks, Zach Brooks, and still got frontline guys in there for Ball State. They're laying some hooks on. Michael Ayers was there, another loss of 1. There's the 61-yard field goal by Spencer Benton, and it's been the hit that'll be heard around the world today. 61-yarder, longest in ACC history, and obviously Clemson history. Roberts to throw out of his end zone. Pass is complete.
How about that throw for a redshirt freshman? His first throw in his college career out of his own end zone on 3rd and 12. Throws a strike on a deep curl route for a first down. Boy, that shows you kid's got a lot of guts.
17-yard hit with Julius Patton. And here's Brooks again, looking for an opening. Creates one of his own, this time up over the 20 at the end of about 3. So Clemson fighting out of their own end zone area. They have, before this drive started, 504 yards of total offense. Second straight week with 500 or better. They had about 529 against Auburn last week. With a player down on the field. We've had a lot of Ball State players knocked out.
Yeah, they've had a lot of snaps, Steve, and they've been on the field a ton. This defense has, and I think a lot of these guys are beginning to cramp up. It's a humid day. Talked about the weather in the area, and then a lot of humidity in the air. A lot of these guys are probably getting depleted as far as fluids go. As much as they try to continue to stay hydrated on the sideline, it's difficult to do.
Ryan Jones, the injured player. They'll go to the sidelines. Hey fans, CPI Security is giving away 4 tickets to the Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game. If you want to enter, visit cpisecurity.com/ACC. And given the fact that the tickets went on sale and Salem and becoming brisk already, there's a lot of interesting possibilities for the ACC Championship games. He's done very well in Charlotte the last 2 years. Here's Roberts, pass, flare complete, and that's Rodriguez. How about this young man? And listen to the crowd. They give this young man a great hand. And Rodriguez standing ovation. for the Purple Heart Bronze Star winner from Stafford, Virginia.
That's something. That is really cool.
First career catch. Third down now and 2 for the Tigers. They're up here 52-20. We're on our third quarterback here for Clemson. Morgan Roberts going to tuck it under and run. And gets the first down. Lost the ball out of bounds, but it's going to be Clemson ball. And there's a flag down on the play. Flag, it's in the Clemson backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold. It's going to come back. Nice job by Roberts to skate out and get a first down, but all for naught.
Holding on the offense, number 79, 10 yards from previous spot, third down.
So let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, here's a rare sight. Dalton Freeman with a baseball hat on with the team on offense, and you can do it when they've got 52 points on the board. He played all but 11 snaps last year, played every snap last week against Auburn. I think he deserves a little rest today.
I would say so. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you wonder what the call is going to be. He said he talks to his dad before and after every game. And he said that he remembered that when he came home from high school, the worst thing he ever heard. Coach is fine. That's what they say. Hey, you played a nice game. He couldn't wait to get home to talk to his dad. And his dad said, "How did I play?" And he said, "Well, you're average." He said like he felt like he'd been slugged right in the stomach. He never heard anything that bad. He says, "I never want to be average again." And he's one of the big timers. This kid will play at the next level. Big time center in the ACC.
And yeah, he said the worst word ever heard in my house was average. We've got a punt coming up, and this is going to be Pinion, who will be punting the ball away with 7:26 to go. Smith will call for the fair catch at the 44-yard line. A 39-yard punt and no return, and timeout on the field. Clemson 52, Ball State 20. Back to Death Valley after this. First and 10, Ball State. And here comes a new back. This is Tony Williams. He is torn apart as he gets to the 45-yard line. Now Clemson's starting to get some of their second-rate people. You know, one guy we got to give mention to is number 48, DJ Reader. Reader was in there, and a whole bunch of other people. Travis Blanks, who's been on a lot of plays thus far this afternoon. While he's not listed as a starter, he's in there around the 2 deep. He stunts the line. Williams on the end around. And there's some running room and a first down for Tony Williams. This is a true freshman. Gets into Clemson territory to the 43, gain of 11.
Really impressed with the way Ball State's runners have remained patient. This is a stretch play. He's got to wait, and then find the crease. And he does a good job. Williams hits it straight up the field. You know, Brent Venables came out at the midfield, out on the field with his defenses and challenged them during the timeout to try to get a stop here.
First and 10. Looks like Wenning's going the distance. They don't have any experienced depth at quarterback. Pass is complete. And a nice strike thrown right into the belly of Willie Sneed. That's an 18-yard completion for another first down. That's his 6th grab of the bit.
Impressed with the way Pete Limbo's crew has come off the sideline and played in the second half. This Ball State team playing against the deck stacked a little bit against them athletically with the way Clemson can put waves of players on the field that are big timers, but Ball State has really played a lot of energy and a lot of pride in the second half.
And off Williams again, and Williams carrying Oracle right with him. Closed captioning for ACC football is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. And our time's about 5:36 to go here in this fourth and final quarter. Clemson's going to win this game. I think everybody figures that out. 52-20. Final score could be a question here as keep running at the controls of the Ball State offense. There's the blitz is on, and he'll throw it to the far corner, incomplete. And he's hurt. And coming in to get him.
Number 44,
another redshirt freshman, B.J. Goodson. Boy, they just keep, there's waves of redshirt freshmen who come in. Goodson, the linebacker, is a kid that obviously they're excited about. He gets a chance to play after redshirting a year ago. is going to shoot through the gap, and that's the big part that Venables has brought to the table. Is it's tough to figure out who they're bringing in these blitz packages.
Third down and 6 to go. Running back up there. Goes to Williams, and Williams gets first down yardage. And red zone at Clemson down to the 12-yard line. Watson in on the tackle.
But this kid here, Williams, tailback, 6 feet, 215-pound freshman.
True freshman.
Yeah, it's and their main runner, Juwan Edwards, he's a sophomore, true sophomore. So Pete Limbo doing a heck of a job of recruiting to get some big-time athletes to go to Ball State.
And Horatio Banks, redshirt freshman. There's the carry by Williams. Inside the 10, now down to the 8.
You mentioned that Pete Limbo's staff coming over from, they were at Elon a couple years ago, and been at Ball State 2 years now. He said that he made a commitment to himself and to his staff that they would continue to recruit the Carolina area, North Carolina area. A ton of talent in the North Carolina area, and he's going to continue to try to tap into some of that and get him to come over and play for Ball State.
Second down and 6. Wayne Williams turns the corner inside the 5, still on his feet at the 3. And that's going to be Corey Cole-Wright hanging on to the ankles there after a 7-yard gain. But again, some pretty good yardage on good rounds.
Yeah, this is the sweep again. Good job of waiting, being patient. Even though they're young backs, they're real well schooled in what they want to do from a ground attack standpoint. The stretch plays, how patient they are to find the creases and then go north and south. They're a one-cut group. They put one foot in the ground and drive it, and that's where they're going. And an excellent job of reading.
Now timeout called here by Ball State as they're in the red zone. They're looking to score here. They're first and goal from the 2-yard line. Clemson up 52-20 back after this break from your local ACC station. Watching the ACC Network in exclusive production of Raycom Sports. We welcome you back to Death Valley where Ball State's threatening to score. 3:40 left to go. First and goal. Clemson up big, but this is for pride for Ball State. And Tony Williams is going to carry the defender into the end zone. That's Spencer Shuey for the score. A 2-yard run.
Actually, number 12 is Tony
Ball
Williams
State will move up further in the 20s. But
that's an impressive drive, just straight ahead, and then he runs through the tackle of Shuey at the goal line. That was man-on-man about a yard and a half out, and Williams was able to win it. Remember to mention 6'1", 215 pounds, 6 feet, 215 pounds. True freshman.
7 carries on that drive and 40 yards, including the 2-yard touchdown. Here's Steve Schott for the point after. And it is indeed good with 3:36 left to go here in the 4th quarter. 52-27 the score. Let's send you back to Charlotte on our ACC Network studios in Tom Warren.
Hyundai update, Virginia and Penn State. Final play of the game, Sam Ficken misses the 43-yarder, and Virginia wins it 17-16.
Non-conference success continues for the ACC, and that's a big game for Virginia. And they now go 2-0 in this early season. Let's have a look at our BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game, and we go back to the first drive of the game here. David, it was a 12-play march.
Yeah, it was systematic, very surgically handled. Here was the shot, the wildcat that Ellington handles the snap, mishandles the snap, gets up the field. Brandon Ford in the flat makes the catch there and gets up the field. Of course, Ellington caps it off. Outstanding drive, 12 plays, 72 yards, and really set the tempo for the game. There's your BMW Ultimate Drive of the game.
Looks like we may not have escaped the rain, as we do have some rain in the field now, and fans are headed for the exits a little more earnestly than they were before. As you may have heard, play was suspended in Winston-Salem for the Wake Forest North Carolina game for the same system. We're seeing the tail end of it at just the right time, the end of this game. They're going to need some help holding the ball in place for the ensuing kickoff. Secor gets it away. This is picked up by Porter at the 3. Porter upfield, still on his feet. down at the 28-yard line. Last look, and we'll have it on the air beginning with the ACC Blitz at 12 noon with Tommy and Tom. Or Tom and Tom.
That's a good win for Maryland to go on the road against a team that beat them up in their own building a year ago. We were there for that game. Good job by Randy Edsall's team to get the win. And then, you know, an ugly win last week against William and Mary where they scored late to win that game 7-6.
Flag on the play and a procedure penalty. We got our fourth quarterback here for the Clemson Tigers. As you see the stands start to clear out. There's Cox. The quarterback is Donnie McKelvey. He's a junior, fourth-year junior. McKelvey hails from Somerville, South Carolina, down by Charleston. Loss on the play of about 3 as we're getting through the final minutes of this game. Clemson will go 2-0. Put Ball State at 1-1. Clemson playing Furman here at home next week. McKelvey says this is not the way I envisioned this play going.
Well, it's hard to zone read and make the defensive end respect you if you're not if you're faking the air. That's not really you're not really going to draw the defender one way or the other.
I'm going to fake to somebody in an open backfield.
Zach Brooks went the other way, and so he didn't get the fake there.
There's Chad Morris. Even on a day when his team leads by 25, he's still not at it. McKelvey with Brooks at his back. Can't wait to get College Park next week. It'll be a lot of fun with Maryland and Connecticut. Here's Brooks as we take you down through the final minutes here. For Clemson, the report card continued. They had consistency on offense with their first unit in the game. I think the problem still exists, though, in the secondary. Communication was one of the key things that Dabo Swinney talked about.
Well, I thought they played pretty well in the first half defensively. The second half, the same unit was on the field, and I think Dabo Swinney will point to that, and that'll be something he'll be concerned about, that they didn't come out with the same energy in the second half, and Ball State actually outplayed them in the third quarter. You know, obviously they regained their footing, and they're going to win this thing going away. But I think those will be the concerns for Dabo Swinney as he looks forward. They got Furman next week, and of course the monster game on September 22 in Tallahassee as they take on 6th-ranked Florida State.
That's 2 weeks from today. Kenyon in here to get a punt away. That was the 85th play of the game for the Clemson Tigers. And fair catch for Jameel Smith, a 32-yard punt. There's no return. Ball State get another crack at maybe putting some points on the board here, but not much time to go. And the wind's starting to blow hard. We've had some sprinkles of rain, but it looks like we'll get out of here not damaged by the weather. You see the 81 National Championship flag here at Clemson, and it's that tradition. You know, Brent Venables was talking about that yesterday. That tradition of winning is something unique here at Clemson. He likened what's being built here as to what was built at Kansas State and continues to be successful. Kansas State was in the lead over Miami earlier today. Here comes Tony Williams, who scored the last Ball State touchdown, and it just goes straight ahead.
And of course, when that staff showed up at Oklahoma, there had been some lean times at Oklahoma when Bobby Stoops and Brent Venables and the Stoops brothers showed up on the scene at Oklahoma. They win a national championship early in their tenure there, beating Florida State in a national title game. And he kept thinking that whole year, boy, we're not very good. We're not very good. And they ended up winning the national championship. And so some of the same similarities exist here with this. This is a team that's won here recently. They're in the fledgling stages of being a national power. And he wanted to be a part of that.
And not much gain on that play as we take you down to the final seconds of this one. Our thanks to Jeff Gompers, our spotter, of course, Freddie Kiker, our statistician, Aaron Blackman, our stage manager here at Clemson, Rob Reichley, our producer, and our director is Roy Alphas. All our crew here at Clemson as we get ready to put the finishing touches on this one. Ball State with the ball. That's Williams. Probably the last play of this game with about 7 seconds left to go. A 3-yard gain. Clemson will hit 50 and get a big win over Ball State and get set for Furman, and then Florida State line after that one. The final score is Clemson 52 and Ball State 27. Don't forget, next week we'll be in College Park as Connecticut and Maryland do battle. You've been watching coverage of the Atlantic Coast Conference football action on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. For Mike Hogwood and Dave Archer, I'm Steve Martin. Goodbye from Clemson.